Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. You know, this one might bleed over a little bit from various different topics, and it might be a little long. It might go a little long. Hopefully that's okay with a lot of you. Sometimes these are right on point and are specifically about the flea market. Sometimes I just kind of want to talk about the day. And right now, I'm outside in the car, just got home from the flea market, and I'm enjoying the sun. It's relatively warm, and I'm just loving this time of year. I really am. Spring, I mean, not even really just spring, but like the anticipation of spring. After having 5, 10, 15-degree days, terrible mornings, cold nights, there's nothing quite like the feeling. So it's a good time to go out and actually just get yard work done also, without having to deal with all the Sorry, I was distracted by something. I'm a little sleepy too, so I'm probably going to take a little bit of nap after this. I might actually have 2 show-off Saturdays today. It's very rare that I have 2. If I can combine them into one, maybe. I've already recorded one, but I have some stuff I picked up from the flea market that I might work in that I want to show off before I sell tomorrow. So I'm going to talk about recycling for a moment. There was a bottle of water at the flea market, and I didn't know if it was mine. So you know what I like to do when it comes to recycling? And some of you might even think this is like a little gross, but that water, I probably won't use it for one purpose, but I might keep it with me in the car. Well, this is kind of gross, because I have a lot of trees in my house, and I need to get me a car cover, and the birds have turned my red car I have into a white car at times. So keeping an extra bottle of water and making sure to put on the cap, no drink or something like that, just in a moment to actually pour on some bird crap, just having water in general, always when you're traveling, is a great thing. Now, some people would throw away that water. They would pick up a water and be like, it might not even be my own water. Someone else's water is disgusting. Me, I'm like, nah, I recycle that water. I recycle that. I'm big on recycling things. And I call it game recycling when you have something that maybe doesn't work perfectly as functioned, but you find a use for it. You find a function for it. Today at the flea market, there was one customer, and they bought, what did they buy? 2 PlayStation 3 games, Dead Island and The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. They bought both of those, and they previously bought Watch Dogs from me. Yeah, they previously bought Watch Dogs, I believe, but that was months back. Sometimes you'll get customers that are like maybe an hour, 2 hours away, and they rarely make it that way. It's very important in that instance to get their numbers, to get those customers' numbers. That way you anticipate, or they can tell you what they might need before they come out. Because they could say like, hey, do you have this game? Do you have that one? And you're like, no, I could have it next week. You're like, I won't be here for a couple of months. So you always want to make sure to, if you can and possible, if you're selling at the flea market, to get people's numbers. But don't be too invasive in it and whatnot. Talking about recycling. Now, that water, you could also possibly, use to, I probably wouldn't use it because it's still kind of gross, is to, I don't like washing my scalp with well water because of all the extra like minerals and everything in it. It's not good for your scalp. So usually I get bottles of water, and right after like a shower, I will just wash my hair in the sink. I use a really good shampoo. I think it's called, I forget what it's called. It's really, really nice. Not that Pantene Pro V crap. Has all that wax in it. But I use I forget what it's called, but it's a really nice, expensive shampoo. But man, your scalp feels amazing after that. And I can tell the difference between the well water, I can, and just bottled water. I can tell the difference. Maybe you might not be able to. Another possibility is to use that on your scalp. I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. there's this one shampoo I got that I just didn't like. Different shampoo. Some people would throw away a shampoo because they're like, well, I don't like the way it makes my hair feel. Me, I use that sometimes as a soap to wash my hands, like a hand soap. Smells really nice, just doesn't feel good on the scalp. Or I might use it just a little bit to, clean the outside of game cases, just a little bit. If there's, well, not really game cases, but gaming related items or anything, or clothes, for instance. If you don't have time to basically, or you're doing a washing, you can't really fit a lot more in there. You just want to wash something out in the sink. Some of those shampoos, they're really great for washing out shirts or underwear, your drawers or socks or whatnot. The key point is, I love recycling. I love looking at something, and before I throw it away, making the determination, wait a second. Are you going to use, why do you need to throw away those little screws? You probably have a situation where, somebody would say, these screws don't fit. They don't fit this one item. Well, if you're always working with electronics and things like that nature, you just might need a screw here and there. Let's say if you have some gaming stuff, maybe some stuff for a GameCube or a Game Boy or a charger for a DS. Some people would just throw it away. But what if you come across, there's a game lot and it has a DS, but you don't have the car charger for it? I keep boxes, neat boxes of various things all around the house. And I label the outside. Power cables. I told you a lot of this is unrelated to the flea market, but we'll get back to the flea market in a moment. Uncle of mine, I'll be meeting in a little bit. Uncle of mine and his son, not him, but his son might be buying some property from me pretty soon. And there's a barn that I'm going to include in the property. And this barn would be a big sales point because he wants to revitalize, remake the barn, and really, I don't have time to work with it. I don't. And I get along with my cousin really good, and I would like to have him as a neighbor. A lot of positives there. So I get a good bit of money in my pocket. He likes the location. And for me, making that decision to include the barn with the land, it's an easy one. But the uncle, his father, used to work with satellites. So he has a lot of satellite equipment over there. And he has all these coaxial cables. I'm thinking, I probably don't need any coaxials right now, but a lot of these are brand new. And I'm sure I'll come across somebody that does that kind of work that might need to buy those coaxials. I mean, there's hundreds of them. Must be hundreds. If I get a buck or two even from each one, that's hundreds of dollars right there. But a lot of people would just throw them away. The uncle said, hey, I was just going to throw them away. I have no use for them and everything. It's like, no, okay. You're going to throw them away? Give them to me. That'd be fine. And he has lots of other things I really can't use. So there are things I probably will throw away because I have no use for some of those things. But I looked in one big Tupperware container, and there was lots of power cables in there. Lots of power cables that are used for Xbox One S, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 also, right? They are just not branded specifically for the PlayStation, but they're power cables. I charge $5 to $10 for those power cables. So if there's 100 in there, it's like $1,000 right there. People always ask me for those. Because at the flea market, people pick up systems and they don't have the power cables. Also, I think there was some RCA cables here or there. Lots of goodies. And he was just going to throw them out because he doesn't mess with that kind of stuff anymore. Or, he said I could try to go sell them, but I got stuff that I'm selling myself anyways. And he's my uncle, so, sometimes if I got a lot of extra stuff that I know he needs, we're family. We're family. Recycling. At the flea market today, first off, a buddy of mine I talked to, I get games from, I'm going to hold on to reveal of a game that he gave me to sell, but I'm probably going to keep and it's a newer game. And I'm kind of shocked that he has it, because usually he has like lots of old PS2 sports games to show me. But this one, legitimately shocked. So I said, dude, okay. I'll see if I can get you some money for this. He told me a terrible story. He had tooth pain, and he went to get a tooth pulled. Only thing is, they pulled the wrong fucking tooth. Could you imagine? He didn't specify which tooth it was. I think it was one in the back, but I would be pissed. I would be beyond pissed. Because not only does the tooth not get pulled that you needed pulled, but now another tooth gets pulled. Now, I didn't specify if the other one was in bad shape. Maybe it was in bad shape, but maybe it needed two pulled, but maybe one later. I don't know the details of it, but I just kept going, dude, my goodness, that's terrible. So I'm probably going to do something good for him tomorrow, man. Maybe I got some toys I rarely ever sell. Might give him some toys and everything. Instead of, I'm not going to toss the toys, but a lot of them is like, I don't like Playmobiles and toys for like little girls and stuff like that. Little boys, like little tiny tot toys. But he sells just about anything. So I might just give him a box tomorrow and just say, here you go, man. And also, this is for that game. Good, real good game. Game I've been looking really forward to playing. That's the second part of another game I've been wanting to play for years. But again, recycling, man. Recycling. I mean, that's unrelated to recycling. I just want to mention that that's a horrific story. Like, have any of you ever had a situation where you had a tooth pulled that didn't need to be pulled, or operation where something gets messed up, taken out that didn't need to be taken out? Shit, it's terrible. Also, I want to finish off by talking about this one person. Like I said, that doesn't come there that often. Oh, I swung back around. Apologies. The mother and her son that got Dead Island and Walking Dead Survival Instinct. She mentioned that she had a PlayStation 3, but the problem with it was that it would not play any audio. Now, I've heard about this problem before. It could be something simple. I think it could be as simple as maybe the HDMI cord is bad, or the output needs to be cleaned with electrical cleaner. Maybe not, though. Have any of you ever had an issue with a PlayStation 3 that didn't output sound? Because I've heard of it happening before. Now, she says she was just going to, toss it or donate it or something like that. But I said, listen, I'll give you some store credit for that. Now, when I offer store credit, to me, it's not cash. If I offer $30 of store credit, usually that's $10 or less in actual cash amount for me, or a lot less if it comes to the video games. Hell, it might be the equivalent of $5 in actual money. So I made the offer of that in store credit. I say, I'm thinking it might come with a power cable, might have some controllers. If it has controllers, then that's a score. It really is, because I can get $20 each for those controllers. Now, it sadly did not have any of those. I didn't look at the back of it yet. It's one of the early shiny ones. I mean, if it's one that plays PlayStation 2 games also, then that's a score. That's a score. Even if the sound doesn't work, if it's one of those, that'd be really nice for space. I can basically have one system to test out PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, testing out stuff. I could put it on my testing table. Because I'm assuming if the game works, then that means, you don't need to really test the audio in the game, because if the disc is working in there, if the PlayStation 3 disc is working, then that's all you need to know. You can play the game for 15, 20 minutes when you're testing it out without the audio working. And then if I have a PlayStation 3, a different one that I was using for testing, now guess what? I can sell it as part of a bundle for $100 to $150. It's all about recycling. Nothing more if you have a business selling video games at the flea market.